You've probably tried it before. The 5 a.m. wake up, the cold shower, the 2-hour morning routine with journaling, meditation, a workout, and a green smoothie before the sun's even up. Maybe it worked. For 3 days, maybe 5. Then life happened. You slept in once, skipped the gym for a meeting, and somewhere in there, the whole thing fell apart. Not because you're lazy, not because you don't want to grow, but because the routine you built was never designed for a real, messy life. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Self-improvement doesn't fail because people lack discipline. It fails because people build routines that only work on perfect days. And most days aren't perfect. So today, we're stripping self-improvement down to its simplest form. No color-coded planners, no 45-minute rituals, just a handful of habits so small that missing a day won't destroy your progress. And doing them consistently will quietly change your life. By the end of this video, you'll have a routine you can actually keep. Not because it's impressive, because it's realistic. Let's get into it. Part 1. Why most routines collapse. Most people design their routine like a highlight reel, picturing their best possible day. Full energy, zero distractions, and building a schedule around that version of themselves. Problem is, that version shows up maybe 1 day out of 10. The other 9, you're tired or busy or just not feeling it. And the routine doesn't bend, it breaks. If your system only works when everything goes right, it's not a system, it's a wish. Behavioral psychology calls this the intensity trap. People assume bigger effort means bigger results, so they front-load their routines. 90-minute workouts, hour-long reading sessions, elaborate meal prep. For a few days, novelty carries them. But novelty fades fast, usually within a week, and all that's left is the size of the commitment. A size most people were never going to sustain past day 10. This is why the smartest approach isn't doing more. It's doing less, every single day, no matter what. Small and consistent beats big and occasional, every time. Part 2. The 1% principle. You don't need dramatic changes to transform your life. You need tiny ones, repeated often enough that they compound. Improving by 1% a day doesn't feel like anything in the moment. But stretched over a year, those improvements stack until the person you were in January barely resembles who you are in December. The catch, 1% doesn't feel rewarding on day 1. There's no dramatic before and after, so people abandon it right before it would have started to show. Real change is boring in the beginning. It looks like nothing is happening, and then, all at once, it looks like everything changed. So the routine we're building can't rely on big, dramatic actions. It has to be built on habits so small they're almost impossible to skip. Part 3. The routine. 4 habits, 5 minutes. Each 4 habits, about 5 minutes each. 20 minutes total, spread across your day. Habit 1. The morning anchor. The first thing you do after waking sets the tone for everything that follows. Not because of mystical morning routine magic, but because it's the first decision your brain makes, and that decision creates momentum. Before you touch your phone, do one small, deliberate thing. Make your bed. Drink a glass of water. Stretch for 60 seconds. What matters is that it happens before you hand your mental state over to notifications and other people's demands. It's a small act that says, I decide how this day starts. Habit 2. The 2-minute reflection time in your day. Take 2 minutes to ask yourself 3 questions. What's one thing I want to get done today? Or did well today? What's something that's been weighing on me? And what's one small thing I can do about it? Not 20 minutes of journaling. 3 questions, under 2 minutes. Most people go entire days on autopilot, never checking in with themselves, and small problems quietly grow into big ones because nobody was paying attention. 2 minutes is enough to catch things early. Habit 3. The single priority rule. Instead of a 15-item to-do list that leaves you feeling behind by 10 a.m., pick exactly one thing. The single most important task you could accomplish today. Write it down somewhere you'll see it. This works because of decision fatigue. Every choice drains a limited pool of mental energy, and a long list forces constant reprioritizing and guilt. One priority removes all of that. There's an underrated part 2. This habit rebuilds your relationship with yourself. Every time you say you'll do something and then do it, You prove to your own brain that your word means something. Miss it enough times, and you start doubting your own follow-through. Keep it, even in small ways, and you build a quiet self-respect that shows up everywhere else. Habit 4. The evening shutdown. Before bed, spend 5 minutes on 3 things. Did you complete your one priority? One thing you're grateful for, and your one priority for tomorrow. This closes the loop. Most people's days fade out into scrolling and vague anxiety about tomorrow. This habit replaces that with clarity. You know what you accomplished, you know what's next. And when you wake up, you're not starting from zero. The decision's already made. Part 4, why this actually works. First, it's low friction. Every habit takes under 5 minutes, so there's no excuse good enough to skip it. Even on your worst day, you can still make your bed. Ask 3 questions. Name one priority, name one gratitude. A routine that survives your worst days beats one that only works on your best. Second, it builds identity, not just results. Every follow-through sends yourself a message. I'm someone who shows up for myself. Over time, that identity becomes more powerful than any single habit. Third, it compounds. None of these 4 habits change your life today, or even next week, but stack them for 30 days and you'll be more focused. 90 days, calmer and harder to knock off course. A year, and the person you were when this video started will feel like someone you used to know. Part 5. When you miss a day, you will miss a day. Maybe several. That's not a hypothetical, it's a guarantee, because you're a human being with a real life. What determines whether this routine works long-term isn't whether you miss a day, but what you do the day after. Most people treat a missed day as proof the whole system failed. One skipped morning turns into a skipped week, then abandoning the routine altogether. This is the what the heck effect. Once you break a streak, you think, well, I already messed up, so what's the point? But a missed day isn't a failure. It's just a missed day. The rule is simple. Never miss twice in a row. Miss one day if you have to. Life happens. But the very next day, you're back. No guilt, no dramatic restart. Just quietly picking the habit back up where you left off. This single rule will do more for your long-term consistency than any amount of motivation ever could. Part 6. The part everyone skips. Most self-improvement content fails not because the advice is bad, but because people are chasing a routine that feels impressive, when what they actually need is one that's sustainable. A 90-minute morning routine feels like proof you're serious about change. But feeling serious and being consistent are 2 different things. These 4 habits will never make an impressive post. Nobody's going to be amazed you made your bed and asked yourself 3 questions. And that's exactly why they work. No performance, no audience, just you, quietly building a version of yourself that shows up day after day. Until eventually, it's impossible not to notice. So here it is. One more time. A small morning anchor before you touch your phone. A 2-minute reflection sometime in your day. One single priority you commit to finishing. A 5-minute evening shutdown before bed. 20 minutes total. It won't feel like much at first. It's not supposed to. Real change rarely announces itself early. It quietly accumulates until one day you realize you're simply a different person than when you started. You don't need the perfect routine. You don't need more discipline than everyone else. You just need something small enough to actually keep, and the willingness to come back the next day, even after you miss one. Start tomorrow. Just the morning anchor, if that's all you can manage. The rest will follow. If this helped you see self-improvement a little differently, you know what to do. I'll see you in the next one.